back to multi-channel YouTube. This is part 2 of part 1, replacing spark plugs Toyota Highlander Hybrid 2009. As we continue installing everything all the parts back together, and here I'm after installing the air intake system. Now we're installing the hoses, compartment, parts and everything back together, and there are 4 bolts star shape with 2 nets on each side. I'm not too sure, but I think it was number 14 Allen key. So I'm sorry you missed the part of installing the air intake system, 3 heating bolts holding intake air system. I was talking about in the part 1 the back 2 bolts. One was missing in the center, so that's the hardest part in the entire job, and we missed that one. Sorry, because the battery of the camera was dead, and so we kept continue going on, and we had to finish this job. It took about 4 hours from start to finish, and it was my friend garage, and we had to get it done as quick as we can. Here I'm installing the hoses and everything back together, and the most important thing is just to make sure not to miss anything. You know, keep the all hoses blocked until and remove all the rags and blocking hoses and everything just before we install everything back together. Now installing the box air box system for the air filter. I don't know the exact name or what they supposed to call those parts, but I'm trying my best as I can, and I'm not like a professional mechanic, or I don't do this for a living, but I basically do it for friends, for me, for myself, families, and I make sure to do a good job and everything, and it's not basically much different than professional mechanic. However, if I basically decide to take this car to any mechanic doing tune-up, at least will charge me maybe roughly from 500 to up to 800 or so. It could be more or less, I'm not too sure, but of course they will charge more, and so that's why I learned basically doing all the maintenance in the car, all the repair myself. And I also have other videos in my channel if you would like to check them out, about car repair and everything else. And please don't forget to support us, subscribe, like and share. This is multi-channel YouTube, and we really appreciate everyone supports us. Thank you so much for all subscribers and to everyone supports this channel. And please always, if you like this video, consider subscribe, like and share, so we can continue on as we upload videos regularly, at least a video or 2 every week or so. Now we're installing the back windshield cover and windshield part and everything else, and first we installing, there are several screws, and number 10, and of course there are four number 14 screws at each side. Those number net the net's number 14, which is the holding the main shock and the part for the windshield, motor and parts all together, and the rest are number 10 bolts. Here you can see two screws for the whole connect together shocks and windshield wiper cover, or the compartment windshield wiper. There are at least maybe two bolts hidden underneath of the windshield arms, and those you need a wrench. It's always better to have wrench with the gear, so it's easy to rotate and try to tighten it, and otherwise socket won't fit, so you need a wrench. Now installing the cover, plastic cover. This plastic cover has no screws and only clips, and it's also missing some clips here. I only found one so far. The sides rubber, those are also clip also, so all you need, just make them in the center and fit them on one spot only they supposed to go. And by the way, I didn't mention about removing at least one terminal of the main battery, and it's always good to remove at least one negative or positive of the battery, and when you work trying to do any tune-up, it's for safety reason, and also maybe for a computer to reset everything, and so it's good to have at least one negative or positive removed from the battery. Sorry, I forgot to mention that in part one, but you know, I mean, could be not necessary, but as I do mostly, it's always better, especially for safety reason too, and for the computer to be reset. This car also has their own maintenance system on the screen, so when you do any kind of repair, maintenance, tune-up, you can put the date when it's done and when it's time to be redone again, like oil change, spark plugs, everything. Here I'm installing the box for the air filter back on, and the air filter also need to be replaced, but for now it's good to keep for maybe another few months or so. I don't have a new one, but I'm just installing the same one back on. If the air filter is dirty or so, it's not too old, and it's just easy to clean it with the air compressor or vacuum. Never wash air filter, they won't work the same if you wash them. And so just to make sure all the hoses, everything installed correctly and tight and everything else, and so far looks everything okay. Now installing the cover back on, and I also will gonna do one more time scan, and to make sure that code won't it's gone, because it's supposed to be gone, because after replacing all the spark plugs, remember the issue was spark plugs number 4 was misfiring. I just installed the negative battery back on. Now it's time to do the scan to make sure that the problem is solved. And there are like 3 options. I'm just doing check engine because that's the most important thing. As you see here, 0 code, everything, the problem was solved. Thank you so much for watching, and please support us. Do the best.